Hey, I'm going to take a few minutes just to talk about busyness and burnout, and more specifically, why neither is good for business. We're going to look at three things. What is burnout and its impact on our performance? Second, why we do it to ourselves, given that we know that it's not necessarily the best approach. And third, how to get out of it and how to avoid it in the future. So, first of all, what is burnout? I like to look at it by kind of looking at the opposite of what burnout is. So, imagine a time when you have been on top of the world. At work, you're killing it. In your social life, you're having fun. Physically, you feel on top form. Emotionally, you're having just the best time of your life. And mentally, you are focused, alert, and you know exactly what you want to do. Ultimately, you are fully energized, right? Burnout is basically the complete opposite of that. You are drained. You are tired physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially. What social life, right? And environmentally, it feels like you probably haven't been outside for a long time. It just feels like a grind, and there doesn't look like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's exhausting. And even just speaking about it, hopefully it's clear that it's not great for performance. When we are drained energetically, it just becomes so much harder to perform and therefore harder to achieve what it is that we're trying to achieve. So that makes sense, right? So why do we do it to ourselves? As leaders and high achievers, often we are driven to do more, right? We want to do the things that make us feel important and useful, to help others, to feel like we're making progress and having an impact in the world. And there's so much to do, right? Responsibilities, expectations, to-do lists. And it can become easy to get into that cycle, right? To get busy and to just start doing and doing and doing without sort of taking a step back and doing the awesome stuff that we're actually there to do, the critical thinking, the creativity, the innovation, connecting with people, finding solutions. And when we're being busy, and we know this, we're not working we're not working smarter, we're actually working harder. We're exhausted. We're either at burnout or we're on the road to burnout, where we know that we're not working to our full capacity and capabilities and potential. And often it just doesn't feel great, right? You don't feel satisfied, you don't feel fulfilled in work. And those two concepts can be very difficult for people to sort of reconcile. But that reconciliation is critical to moving forward and how you actually get out of it, which is the third thing. First of all, by recognizing that the two, i.e., having impact and enjoying life, are not mutually exclusive, right? Working harder, being exhausted, feeling unsatisfied does not equal impact. In fact, it's the exact opposite. So, knowing that, how do you get out of it? Depends what stage you're in. If you're already burnt out, there's no way past it. You just need to relax and recharge, all right? I spoke about the six influencers. So spiritual, feeling a connection to what you're doing. Mental, just having the mental clarity and focus to do things. Emotional, feeling joy, peace, love, and excitement. Physical, feeling energized physically. Social, being connected to people around you. And then environmental, just going outside and enjoying life and nature. Identifying which of those you feel most drained in and just finding the space to recharge is super important when you're burnt out, because there's no way out of it. You just like a battery on 0%, you need to plug in the charger and get back up. All right? If it's physical, simple things like just increasing the amount of time that you're sleeping, right? If you're sleeping 4 hours, 8 hours may be difficult to go straight to, unless you're that overachiever that just wants to jump there. But definitely moving to 5, 6, 7 hours is really important, so that you start to recharge, so that you can start to get the clarity to get back into that leadership and achievement that you know that you're more than capable of. If it's a spiritual connection, then it's just creating space to think and to reconnect to the things that you really love to do. And if it's mental capacity, just again, creating space in your diary on a daily basis to just stop thinking so that your brain can recharge, all right? So recharging if you're already burnt out, and doing it over a prolonged period of time is really important. If you are not burnt out, but you see that you're getting there because of busyness, start to replace some of that busyness with good habits, right? Because it can become a cycle, which then ends up in that burnout. So the default things that you're doing, where you find that, I don't know, you're working past the hour that you want to work in, or you are constantly thinking, or you're booking back-to-back meetings, Start to break that up, right? Go into your diary right now, cancel meetings that are not urgent, and not even cancel, just move them to another day or move them to another week, because you don't have to do everything today. A really great trick and tip, especially when you're finding that you're really busy, it's doing sort of a block and batch, where you identify something that you want to do, and maybe you have multiple of those. So for example, let's say that there are 5 clients that you want to reach out to, or 5 people on your team that you want to send something to. Find a slot in your calendar, block that out for a specific amount of time, no more than an hour, and then do as much as you can within there. If you don't get through the full list, find another block to actually do it in, as opposed to going over. So starting to really, really set boundaries around the things that you're doing, and in between those boundaries, filling them with breaks to relax and recharge, and just to create space for yourself to start to think again. And finally, if you're not busy and you're like, I'm already on cloud 9, but I've been down this road before and I want to avoid it in the future, implement great habits. I always say that as human beings, we're not really good at removing bad habits, but we're great at replacing habits with things that may serve us better. To give you an example, one thing that I do is in the mornings, I've got like my 1.5 hour routine that no one can touch, right? It kind of goes through some of those influences I spoke about before, and includes things like having a nice warm bath, of course, doing my 40 to 60 minute yoga practice, reading the Bible, dancing around to fun music, and really, really energizing myself, because I know that that's the space to do it. Someone else was mentioning that they are more of an evening person, and therefore they do their routine in the evening. But start to create those daily energizers, both in the space and time that you know that you are at your best, and in breaks in between, to keep yourself energized. If nothing else, just stop everything, find something that you like doing that's fun, celebrate your successes. That always gets us energized. Or just find someone who's lots of fun. All right, speak to you guys soon, and have a great week.